Okay, welcome to your practice. Please find a posture that promotes stillness. We're about to launch a training that is being themed by the lead teacher around Hindu deities and forms, murtis. And I'm going back and forth. I've been thinking a lot about the deity form that they said that Ramana was an incarnation of. And at the ashram I used to go to, it was their presiding deity. It was daksinamurti. Daksinamurti. The teachings of this form are quite powerful, so I'll share some of that. Perhaps it will inform our sit. Daksinamurti is an incarnation of Shiva. Maybe you've seen that there's a picture of, there's like a wheel and there's a picture of Shiva where it looks like he's dancing, he's in motion. It's called Nataraja, the dancing Shiva. And he's got these dreads that are in the wild, like whirling sort of shape. And I bring that up because this Shiva is sitting. He's sitting and he's only got one leg crossed. The other leg's actually outstretched, maybe because he has bad posture, or it's a sign that flexibility is not necessary for yoga. And his dreads, instead of being wild, they're draped down to tell us about the power of stillness, and that this silence, this really overwhelming presence of being it's like a giant shawl that can hold us in that stillness. And his foot that's outstretched because he's not flexible enough to cross his legs is resting on a demon called Apasmara. Apasmara is the demon of forgetfulness, or the demon of ignorance. And it's showing that Dakshinamurti, who is this embodiment of Shiva as the guru, as the teacher, has dominion, control over when to forget, when to step into ignorance. That this human temporary condition that we have can come in and out of presence. And there's a freedom there when it's underfoot, apasmara. And so as we sit here tonight, the overwhelming presence of Dakshinamurti is always there. And we learn how to rest our foot on the demon of forgetfulness. Shiva is considered the first yogi. First yogi. All the teachings of yoga come from Shiva. And Dakshinamurti is a form of that. It's been called the silent teacher. The silent teacher. And I am that. You hear Maharaj often talk about the inner guru. You could think of this as Dakshinamurti. The inner guru is this knowing that is inside of us, that is ripening us through our experiences, through our senses, giving us events, circumstances in our life that create catalysts of removing the obstacles, the false knowing. That false knowing is that demon, apasmara. Moving them from crawling all around us, making us stir, to being underfoot. And so as you start to sit here and settle in, begin to take your attention to this silent teacher. Perhaps you can feel these knowledges that are not the true knowledge. roaming around the mind, making thought forms, making images, making a show. And you are settling in to this everlasting quiet, the silent teacher. Daksinamurti literally means one who faces south. South is the direction of death in Indian lore. And so Dakshinamurti is the yogi who has conquered all fear, even the fear of death, through this silent eternity of being. And his dreads that are hung heavy over him, they are black, black like the eternal night sky of the cosmos. And all light, the light of consciousness even, is in that. There's a picture of the sun and the moon in his hair. All the illumination is held inside of this darkness, this quietness, this silence. It's an inescapable stillness. No matter how much you stir, it's there. This is the silent teacher. Because the lesson is always being spoken. The lesson is always being communicated. Perhaps we are not always listening. And so you turn your attention to the teacher, the inner, silent, eternal teacher, the carrier of all wisdom. In the depictions of Dakshinamurti, there are 4 yogis. They are the sons of the universe who have been charged with creating the world. They were given the job to create the world. And so they said, well, we should be enlightened before we create the world. And so they come to see Dakshinamurti and they ask, how should we fit the world so that we can make an enlightened world? And Dakshinamurti just sits quietly, no words spoken, just the lesson of silence. And these 4 yogis get bored and they wander off. This is us forgetting how precious, how powerful this wisdom can be. And we go and we futz around and we make a little bit of the world. And then we come back and we say, we don't really know what we're doing. Let's ask Dakshinamurti how we should form this world. I ask again, how can we be enlightened so that we can make an enlightened world? And there Dakshinamurti sits with the weight of the eternal emptiness on his head, unaffected by it, silent, astute, aware, saying nothing. And the four yogis, the sons of the universe, get bored and they wander off again. They go run about, craft a bunch of the world, and realize again, wait a minute, we don't know what we're doing. We should go be enlightened first. And this goes on and on. And on and on. See if you can feel this story still playing out in your own consciousness. And which do you identify with? Are you one of those four yogis, a child of the universe, trying to make a world, remembering that there's something deeper, something very important, but unable to grasp it? Or do I identify with the silence that is always present and can sit up under the weight of the vastness of the cosmos? Without the feeling of needing to make an enlightened world. Try to feel the vastness of that empty darkness, the space of the cosmos. All light is contained inside of it. We call them stars, represented as the sun and the moon. The light of your consciousness is one of those stars, your awareness, existing in the vastness of empty space. It's monumental, it's gigantic, it's omnipresent. And Dakshinamurti can sit tall inside that presence. Perhaps you can feel the part of yourself that tries to run out, make or fix the world, improve, change, alter. Even if it's just an aspect of your own self or your body. Those are those four yogis, uncertain just how precious of a gem they found. Just remember, however far you wander out into the world of thought and form, something will always call you back. An unspoken call. You can feel it pulling you. Watch the story play out. You can feel it's a heaviness, but it's not a weight, it's not a burden. There's a pull, but there's no ache to it. It's a magnetism, but there's no pressure. It's the binding of the whole thing. Dreads of daksinamurti. It encapsulates, it holds all of it. There the silent teacher sits in the center, upright, astute, and alert, but motionless, silent, empty of thought. Those thoughts that you may be observing, that's just those little yogis running around, trying to figure out how to slow down, how to hear the lesson from the teacher. They keep asking. They just haven't heard the answer yet. Don't try to hear it. Try to uncover it. Be it. Don't be the movement. Be the stillness. Be all encompassing, immovable, silent space. Dakshinamurti is sitting there, even when those four yogis who want to know, they want to know the wisdom, the truth, the reality, but they feel compelled to get the world made, to create, to make, to change, to sculpt, to modify. Yet they still yearn to know the truth, to hear the unspoken. And that unspoken teaching, the silence of Dakshinamurti, it's always there. He's never not moving. It's always being communicated. It's always being said. This unspoken wisdom. It is the inner guru. But these four yogis you see in the picture, they sit the same height as Apasmara, meaning forgetfulness still influences them. And so they run about. If you find yourself running about, forgetting, lost in thought, just wait. Like Dakshinamurti waits. Just keep sitting. Keep remembering. Try to look beyond the senses, even with the eyes open or closed. Look beyond what the eyes see, what the skin can feel, the ears can hear. Try to know the vastness beyond your five senses. Try to know the eternal quiet. That one who has faced death would know. Now you come to these sits because you've grown tired of running away. And that's what happens to the sons of the universe, charged with making the world. They eventually grow tired of all that making, of all that doing. And they come to just sit with Dakshinamurti, You can feel that energy, part of you that's just growing tired of running around, that really wants to know. Eventually, the four children of the universe, charged with making the world, find themselves no longer asking Dakshinamurti, no longer facing him, but you'll see depictions, paintings, where the four children of the universe are turned around, sitting quietly, facing south, motionless. This teaching is the inevitable teaching. It is that which cannot be escaped. It is the all encompassing teaching. It is not something to be frightened of or to run from, but something you can sit tall in, even if you're not that flexible. can think about it like your own thoughts. At one point, you were probably yelling in your own mind, screaming. Then you learn how to talk, lower your voice, speak a little slower. Then you learn how to whisper and say less with more say more with less words. And then even the whispering can come to a stop. But not much has to be said at all. It's a natural process. From gross to subtle, from raw to refined. All the light that illumines everything you see. It's inside the vastness, the empty, quiet, motionless vastness. That's the teaching. It never left. It never got away. Try to feel, try to understand every movement, every intention, every thought, every feeling, every idea, hunch, frustration, intuition happens in consciousness. And there is a vast quiet around, through, and within consciousness, eternally silent, informing and wisening up. The aspects of us that are ready. Relax from the practice.